Welcome to another episode of the Longevity and Lifestyle podcast. I'm your host, Claudia from B.R.A.I.N. I'm here to uncover the groundbreaking strategies, tools, and practices from the world's pioneering experts to help you live at your best and reach your fullest potential. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast to always catch the latest episodes. My guest today is Dr. Louise Swartswalter. Louise is owner and founder of Brain Soul Success Academy and creator of the B.R.A.I.N, B-R-A.I.N system, a 5-step transformational program serving clients worldwide. For 20 years, Dr. Louise has been helping transform the lives of over 45,000 clients to reach success in their lives using naturopathy, biofeedback, trauma release work, NLP, life coaching, and energy work. Welcome, Louise. It's such a pleasure to have you on today.
It's so great to be with you, Claudia. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing and for putting this together.
And to you too. So thank you so much for joining today. I'd love to kick off to discuss your Brain Soul Success program and what you're doing there. What is behind it? Why did you put it together? And what are the implications for longevity of this work?
How I put it together was I got sick myself and lost my own brain power. So it's usually a journey for all of us, right? We have a story. And I crashed. My second was born, and after that I crashed. I'm sure it was hormones. No one figured that out back then. I had a dentist who said, if we take out all your mercury fillings, you will feel better, that it's metals. And so I did that all in one day and should not have done that. I was already fatigued. I already had like a diagnosis of chronic fatigue. Doctors didn't know what it was. It was either fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, MS. I had them all. And so I was on this journey of really healing myself. I was super, super sick, Claudia. I had 2 small kids at home. My son was just born. My daughter was 3. And I was sleeping on the floor on cotton blankets. I couldn't tolerate anything. I was allergic to all these foods and chemicals. It was a mess. It was just a really big mess. And the biggest thing was my brain didn't work. I think I was like 32 years old. And I was like, man, I feel like I have Alzheimer's and I'm only 32. And I was like, something's wrong. So I ended up doing the whole natural route, right? Everything from acupuncture to chiropractic to I would have done anything at that time to get better. And so it was this whole journey, and switching to organic foods and taking supplements that helped. That helped a little bit. I was called that the body piece. I'm taking care of my body. I exercised to sweating. I actually ended up in a 5-week sauna program. I did dry heat sauna for 5 weeks, sweating all those heavy metals and chemicals out of me. I had high levels of benzene at the time, and my doctor said it was from Chicago city water.
Wow.
I grew up in Chicago. We all drank tap water. I was like, really? So I had to sweat all that out and really work on all that. And it really did take a very long time. And on that journey, I discovered that I wasn't just needing to work on my physical body, but I needed to work on my emotions. I needed to do the spiritual work behind all that. So I ended up I kept taking classes then and learning. And then I became a naturopathic doctor because I was like, hey, I have the paper. I should have the paper on the wall because I think I know a lot of this because I had to do it myself. So that spurred me to go to school. I was a dyslexic therapist at the time. So I was working with kids in reading, writing, and spelling, and was very good at it. I loved the students. I loved the families. And then I actually started experimenting with them. I got my first biofeedback device, and I would put them on the device and I would watch them get better, and their reading was better, their comprehension was better, their brains were better. So I was always seeking brain support. So that's really how it became Brain Soul Success, is because now I actually dive deeper into the fact that we have spaces in our brain. Your brain is spiritual as well as physical. To clear the spaces in the brain for you to be 100% your authentic self, your soul truth. And I figured out a system on how to do that. And so now it's super deep dive and I just love it.
Really excited to dive into a few things there, but I'd love to just dive into one question first in terms of the protocol that you seem to have put together for your detoxification and sort of rejuvenation program. Did somebody assist you with that, or was this sort of intuition, or how did you figure out what was the best protocol between the sauna and the eating and all the different supplements that you were taking, etc.? How did you put that protocol together, and what did that look like for people maybe suffering from something similar?
Yeah, again, I figured out that it's not just the body. I was very good as a naturopathic doctor. I owned Albuquerque Natural Health Center for years here. I saw tons and tons of people. But what I realized, even with my clients in my clinic, is it wasn't just the body. I could help them with that. They would start to digest better. Their gut would heal, all that stuff. They could detox parasites, but it still was, they would still come back and they weren't like happy in their life, or there'd be something off. So I started working with their emotions, and then I started using energy work. And so what I found was we had to do these different pieces. When I outlined all the pieces and saw really what I was doing and stepped back and said, what does a session really look like with my clients? What am I really doing with them to help get them from 0 to 90 or 100? I realized that I was working with the body. So this is how the brain system was born. So B is body. And body is like just what we're talking about. Eating rise, getting good sleep, all the lifestyle stuff. And then R is releasing. So I've got 10, and we keep adding to it, 10 different releasing techniques where we release the emotional baggage, even ancestral, even great grandmas. That fear is still in your field, whether you know it or not. That grief could still be in someone's field, whether they know it or not. Then it affects their life and their business. So we clear that. So that's releasing. And then A is aligning with spirit. I found spiritual is always a part of health and healing. And that's whatever God is to you. It's individual. It's just a belief. Okay. And then I is integrate. We have to integrate your brain frequencies to your purpose. So I also found that when people didn't have a purpose, they felt very purposeless, harder to get well. We help find that clarity. And N is the new program. So this is spelling brain, B.R.A.I.N. And N, I think, is missing. The new program, I think, is missing a lot in health and healing and longevity. I mean, we can do all this biohacking for your body with longevity. And I know you teach that and use a lot of those tools, but what about how do you want to show up? What do you want to do in your life? And so this high-powered energy work, that's codes, they're actually numbers, because math is the universal language, reboots your brain, but reboots your body and your whole entire energy field. That's the new program. So it's what you want to do, like in your life and business.
I'd love to dive a little bit into that as well. And I think that's such a fundamental part, and part of what I teach as well, is getting that clarity on what is your vision and then the why, right? And getting really deep into understanding what the why is as well. I'd love to understand how you help your clients also to get to that point, because if you don't have that compelling future and that compelling why, then people are just drifting around and being reactive versus proactive. So in your work, how do you support people in finding their purpose?
That's a great question. I really believe when you get back to 100% your soul's truth, you now can have the clarity about what that is. So our brain has an energy field around it. And so there's actually capacitor rings around your brain. Think of a picture of an atom. Got the nucleus and the rings around it. That's the energy field part of your brain. And that actually is where we hold the patterns of the past, your lifetime. Whatever happened when you were a little girl, because we're very impressionable, age 0 through 7 or 0 through 10. And I like to dive in and clear that energy that got stuck. It's where we were invalidated, where we didn't feel good enough, where we were hurt. You know, there could be anything there, rejection, betrayal, grief. We got to clear all that. So what I find if that's still in the way, it's harder to help someone find their purpose and their clarity.
I think that is something I'd like to just maybe explain, or maybe you can have that explain as well, because I know some people, especially if they do yoga and chakras and things like that, they understand it a bit better. But I think there might be some people listening, they're like, energy, and what is this exactly? So if someone has never heard about sort of energetics and things, how would you describe it to help people understand a bit better?
That's a really good question too. We have a biofield around us. So you're an energetic being. Greg Bredesen says we're 99% space. So you're more space than you are physical. And so we have an energetic field, and that energetic field also, there can be, again, emotions, things that get trapped in that energetic field. And you know this, because if you walk into a room, if people are listening here and you think about when you walk into a party, and there's just someone who's just glowing, they're effervescent. You can feel their energy. You can feel their vibe. You look at them and you're like, wow, I want to go talk to them. Okay, what is it about that person that sparks that? It's their energetic field is emulating that. They're clearer. There's something about that. They have a higher vibration. So I help people raise their vibration by getting that clarity, by clearing out all the old stuff and then putting in the new program. So we all have an energy field around us. There's something called Killen photography. And Killen photography is actually a camera that takes pictures of your biofield. Mm. And they will actually show that you can have let's just say you've had right shoulder pain, right? And the camera will show that you have energetic energy there. A little boy, a little girl, some attached. And maybe if you're really working with somebody, it's sad, but you might find out that they had a son that passed and that's on their right shoulder and they haven't let it go yet. So you've got to go to those places of grief and help them with that. So our energy field does show who we are in a sense.
And so people interested to find out or learn about this a bit more, what would be ways that people could research this and understand a bit more? Because I think it is so powerful and not as much talked about, if you will, than needed.
Yes, some of my mentors and teachers, I love Greg Bredesen. He's done a lot with spiritual work as well as science. He blends science and spirituality so well. Bruce Lipton is another one that's done a lot of that. And Shamani Jain's done the actual research. Shamani Jain wrote a book on the biofield and how to heal ourselves. And so she's done the actual research, wrote her PhD on the biofield, that we have an energetic field. So that'd be a great place to start.
This is so beautiful as well. And can you also explain for people listening why for living better and longevity, etc., that this is so critical to get this granular also in this space? A lot of people are focused on the external or on the eating well, but why is doing the full holistic part so important for us?
Because the internal, when you feel good inside it, you see it on the outside. It's just like we have an inside skin. People think they're going to put a bunch of stuff on their skin and make it look beautiful. That's great. I'm doing an apple cleanse right now. It's supposed to help your skin. I'm eating apples. This is day 3. I'll let you know how it goes. I'm really getting creative. I'm adding cinnamon and ginger now. But so when we cleanse the inside, you have more skin inside than you do outside. So everything is from the inside out. And I think most people here would agree that, hey, we have to do some inner work. And that's why you take yoga classes. That's why we take kind of teachings and in classes, and that when we work with ourselves, we are meditators or whatever process you use to go within, get clarity for yourself.
For some people that might be suffering, I know, especially coming out of the pandemic with burnouts, chronic fatigue as well, also sort of anxiety and stress, what are some tips and recommendations you would have for good places to start or work that could be done to start to really fundamentally feel better?
So balancing, but one thing that I would definitely say is a very simple tool that takes 3 or 4 minutes that balances the rings, those rings around your brain, the energetic field of your brain and your whole body, is something called mind gems. And they're just little exercises where you're holding your hand and counting to 12 in certain positions. So I might, like, for example, my right hand's on my left shoulder, my left hand's on my right shoulder. I'm crossing in front of me. This balances polarity. So if you just sit with this and breathe while you're doing this and focus on your intentions for the day, and you just hold that for 12 seconds, and then we switch, meaning if my left arm is on top, I'm going to now put my right arm on top. And so that's one of these mind gems. And it's a freebie on my website. You can give it to everyone because I want everyone to have this because it's such a great tool. And I have to tell you, Claudia, I use this with my dyslexic students and my ADHD students. That's when I was first learning it. And I watched them process better in their lessons. So it helps the brain. It helps you stay focused, balanced, sleep better, release stress. When I first started doing ancestral work, I had a woman and we were clearing some really nasty old stuff for her. And she said, I had to do mind gems 16 times today to get through the day. And I never forgot that. And my son used them all the way through college. And he would tell me, he'd say, hey, Mom, I didn't do my mind gems. I only got a C on the test. Now you got to put me in biofeedback because I'm going to have to do my mind gems and I need you to work on my brain for this next test. I got to get an A. So they work. They're just simple.
What is happening there exactly that is allowing for that focus, especially and I'd love to talk for you to talk after about sort of AD and ADHD children, or in general, because some of my listeners will know that's a bit of a quest I'm on as well for myself, but also for my daughter. But just to understand with this sort of rebalancing, like what exactly is happening physiologically that is allowing for this rebalancing and focus to happen?
Well, it's crossing midline. So you have a corpus callosum down there. So your brain is divided in half, in twos. We have a right brain and a left brain. And most people know a little bit about that, right? And so anytime we're crossing midline, we are balancing right and left brain. So you always want to balance right and left brain. There's another one where we're releasing emotions and we're doing this. And so that too. So I'm crossing and touching over on my forehead, if you're listening to this on the podcast. So my right hand is on my left forehead, my left on my right. So I'm crossing over. This clears motions. So it clears any negative emotions. And so when you're holding those points, think of them as spin points or touch points on the body instead of acupuncture points. So they're targeted points. And so what they're doing is they really are balancing the system, but very simply.
And so it's bringing things back into equilibrium, which would imply that if you're having strong emotions or feeling anxious or depressed, you're off balance energetically as well. Is that a fair way to say it?
Yeah. And when if you're anxious or you're depressed or you're having things going on, it's deeper than just that. But this is a good beginning tool. And so what's happening is that means you have other people's energy or your own or great grandmother's in your energy field. So we are, and you probably work a lot with empaths as well as I do. Empathic people who are sensitive have amazing gifts. They're intuitive, and that's a gift. But it's also can be a negative in that they're real sensitive and they take on other people's energy and it stays in their energy field. So when I say field, I mean you have an energetic field around you, and I can show you with muscle testing that pain actually starts in the field. And then when we release it with these codes, people will be, oh gosh, my back feels better, my shoulder feels better, my knee feels better, or whatever was hurting. They'll be like surprised that it's different. It's because pain starts in the energy field, not it just in your physical body. Even if you had a bone that was broken, there's still pain
that needs to then be cleared.
That needs to be released. We're whole people, but we're layers. So we have to clear the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and energy field for you really to move forward in your life the way that you want to. And when we do it that way, Claudia, what happens is it sticks. Like just putting Trameal essential oil on that pain, you might go, oh, that feels a little bit better, but it's kind of still there. It still comes back. When we clear the field part of the pain, the emotions that got stuck there causing that pain, whether it's physical or whether it's maybe just emotional, then it sticks.
And I love what you said before with the setting in the new rewiring and the new program, so that when people have then the clarity of their purpose, so they've basically healed from the trauma, they've healed from whatever it is that is the baggage that's holding them down. And then they have the new programming in place to then move forward in the way that they choose to and that they want to as well. That's beautiful. I'd love to touch on a bit, because as mentioned before, with the ADD, ADHD and your work that you've done there and what you have found to be really powerful tools and resources for the children and probably adults as well that you've worked with ADD, ADHD and dyslexia. Could you expand a bit on that?
Yeah, the very first thing is mind gems. Get them all doing mind gems. So I give those to adults, kids, everybody. You know, I don't know, there's probably 45,000 copies of that out somewhere. I just give that to everybody because that's the very first thing. And then the common sense thing is, again, I'm working with body, release, align with spirit, integrate, and put in the new program. So I follow the system. Okay. So I trademarked that system because it is just so complete. So body is going to be finding out their food sensitivities, their allergies, working with the right supplements, detoxing those heavy metals that are causing that. Often I see it's heavy metals, often lead with that, and a lot of the preservatives and stuff in food. So we have to clear all that out. So there's sensitivities and allergies there. So that's the body piece. And then when you calm the nervous system down, and I use neurobiofeedback. So I have 5 different devices that I rotate and use. So neurobiofeedback works as well because it's balancing the vagus nerve, it's balancing the nervous system. The other way to balance the nervous system is to be real consistent with mind gems morning and night or before a test. Those kids need to do this before they take a test or I've had adults do it before they go for a job. So that's real simple. But then we also have to release. We have to release the mental baggage that is stuck there, the trauma that got stuck in the spaces of the brain, for the whole nervous system to calm down. I'm going to tell you a story of a lady that I work with who had breast cancer that went into brain cancer. So she came to me for nutrition years ago. And I remember I was doing this process that I'd love to do with you just to demonstrate for your audience. It's called brain soul balancing, or a soul tie box. And I was doing this with her. And what it is, we put her bottom line goal, her intention about getting healthy, in a box on a paper. And I intuited the strings, the people or situations pulling her away from being healthy, let's say. And I draw these strings off the box. And it's an intuitive process where we're looking at, and she had a lot of mother issues. So I was looking, okay, this is you and your mom when you were 6. This is you and your mom when you were 13. This is the 3rd grade bully on the playground. This is the rejection you felt from your first boyfriend. We cleared all that. And what happened was she had 13 brain tumors that UNM Hospital here hooked up electrodes and did chemotherapy. They fried her brain. She didn't even know who she was for weeks, and her cousin took care of her. When she came to see me, it was like almost miraculous to me. I was like, how do you even have part of your brain back? How can you even talk to me now? Like, how did that work? So we are miraculous beings, right? We're miracles. Our bodies are miracles. You know what? When I counted those strings when she left, there were 13.
Wow.
And I went, whoa, that's fascinating. What if I did this process before she had that chemotherapy at UNM Hospital? Because I know, I can't prove it, but I know in my heart that each one of those strings was a tumor. It was a trauma. So that's what I mean by clearing the trauma. So I don't care if it's just a brain issue, if it's ADHD, if it's Alzheimer's, whatever it is. If those aren't cleared, what we're doing is not complete. I have the answer. It's just not complete. I've worked with people. It's so fascinating to watch what happens to them when we do this whole thing.
The whole shift of it as well, because I think, as many people will know, that a lot of physical ailments are derived from emotional issues and challenges that we have. And I think people notice when they're not in a good way that bad things, if you will, happen. Illnesses arise. I'm case in point that my worst of my worst time, a lot of my things were caused from a toxic relationship and emotional challenges. And I had chronic sinusitis, chronic fatigue, all of a sudden these gut health issues, like more and more things started piling on. And it was like, where's all this coming from? I wasn't getting to the root cause. And it's when you address the root cause, which typically has some reflection, in my view, and what you're saying as well, in emotional trauma. So it's getting to the root cause to clear that. So I'm so delighted to be discussing this with you today, Louise, as well. And I'd be very happy to do a demo if you wanted to.
You want to do a demo? Okay. So here's what we'll do. We're going to ask you to your audience. Okay. But I want it to be your intention or your goal too. What I usually start with is walking down the goal using an LP. So I would just simply ask you, Claudia, what do you want to have change or be different? What's on your heart today?
Okay, thank you. So I think that one thing, and I know from my audience as well, that some people, it's like stress, anxiety. And I think for me as well, that if I don't have my morning routine perfectly down and different environmental situations are not completely under control, then that's something that does arise as well. So I think that hopefully will resonate with enough people in my audience as well to look at stress, anxiety, and managing that for day to day.
Okay, so what do you want to have happen instead? So we're managing stress and anxiety, but what do you want to have change or be different? How do you want to show up?
Yeah, so what I'd love to show up, how I'd love to show up is just to be the thermostat, not the thermometer. So just have that consistent inner calm, not let external events and maybe lack of sleep one night or whatever, let those things influence my judgment and my reaction to things in a day.
So you want consistent inner calm.
Yeah.
If you had consistent inner calm, what would you tell yourself then you're not telling yourself now?
Oh, this is good. I would remember that there's a solution to every problem. And for me personally, something that's always is like this time sensitivity, like has to be done yesterday type of thing. So I think it's just all good things come to those who wait, and things will happen in its own right time. So I think it's just reminding myself that things happen in the right order and I don't need to force it or have it done yesterday.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So I tell myself, I remember that there's a solution to every problem and things happen in the right order. There's always enough time. It's reminding me of this because this mind gem is the one that I have to do a lot too. This is present time. It's putting your hand on top of your head and right over your soft spot. And sometimes when I do that, you almost feel your whole body just go, and so
like twirling otherwise.
When we don't have enough time and we're so busy or you're thinking that, we got to get ourselves back to present time. Yeah. So there's enough time. Okay. So if you're telling yourself, you remember there's a solution to every problem, things happen in the right order, there's enough time, and you have this consistent inner calm, what would you be doing differently than you are now?
I would be consistently more present in the moment and aware of the presence as well. I think I would be much more in that gratitude state and just in this calm enjoyment of the moment versus that struggle of I have to do all these things, time pressure, that whirlwind. So you're more in sort of the calm waters versus the tornado.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that would also, of course, then imply being able to go deep on certain topics to touch base more with sort of intuition, creativity, better ideas for work I'm doing, focus, of course, as well, and getting into that deep work flow state.
So you use intuition, creativity, and you're more focused and you're in the flow state. Okay. So if you're in this flow state, how will you feel?
Wonderful. Calm, relaxed, but yeah, productive.
Wonderful, calm, relaxed, and productive. Okay. And then I just ask, hey, is that bottom line? Yes. And so then we're going to take, and I'm going to put you feeling wonderful and calm and relaxed and productive. Having that inner calm. Productivity is important to you, isn't it?
That's the way I'm wired.
Calm, relaxed, productivity, feeling wonderful. I want to see you like walk out of a room, you know, when they walk out of a room and you like jump and your legs, like you're sideways, but your legs clap in the air. That's what we want to see for you. Okay, let's see. All right, so this is you feeling calm, relaxed, productively, and wonderful. And so I'm just muscle testing. I'm using intuition, and I go into the field and I say, okay, who or what has pulled Claudia away from that? 1, 2, 3. There's at least 3 strings, maybe 4. And then I just draw strings off a box. So it's pretty scratchy, but it's just strings off a box. Okay.
For people watching, there's a box in the middle just drawn on the paper, and there's just lines coming out of it. For people listening,
there's lines coming out of it. So these are the soul ties. So when we clear the soul level, it's much, much deeper than me giving you a supplement for your brain, doing any of the kind of process, telling you to meditate, right? It's just deeper. So this first one is this, I'm a male or a female. There's a female in your field. Is it you? No. Is it someone else? Yes. Is it mom? Yes. Is it currently? Yes. So this is mom in your field. And we say, okay, let's just find the words. So it actually works by finding the words. So it's the power of the spoken word, or the truth sets you free. I have a very crass example for that. And then we're going to find the words on mom here. So if I'm frustrated and I say, oh, shoot, I actually don't feel any better. And if I say, I actually feel good now.
So trying
okay, so it has to be the right word. So I actually have cheat sheets of words. What I'm holding up here is just pages of words and columns. I'm muscle testing, finding out the words. Okay, so in mom's field, there's sad and fear.
So a lot of my listeners will know my mother's suffering from dementia and has sadly progressed extensively over the last 6 months. So obviously this all makes a lot of sense why she would be feeling like this. Yeah.
Wow. You know what? This is going to be good because it could help her too.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes when we do energy work, some of the strings, people will come back and tell me, oh yeah, you know that string you did on my daughter? Well, she called me right after that. So we're going to pray for your mom here.
Thank you.
So this is sadness, fear, helpless, longing, insecurity, overwhelm, shame. So all that means is that energy is around your mom, but you're there now with her. So it's around you too. So it pulls you away from feeling calm, relaxed, productive. So how we actually clear it, and this came from John 10:10 in the Bible, is we say, was that energy then, that sadness and that shame and that fear and those emotions, was that a liar, thief, or fraud? It's a thief. And then what did it do? Did it kill, steal, or destroy something? And I know that sounds really strong, but they came from John 10:10 in the Bible, and they clear the soul level of that issue in your brain. It's stealing your peace, your energy, your vitality. So that means we're reclaiming peace, energy, vitality, and healing. A through M, M through C, M and O word. Optimism, stealing your optimism and your triumph. So we're getting back the triumph as well. And then I say a clearing statement, and this is access consciousness. Some of you might be familiar with it. It's another technique of clearing energy. It's just a statement that kind of clears like cobwebs and little pieces. And so I just say, I destroy and uncreate any judgments, assumptions, projections, conclusions, decisions about the situation with your mom and all the energy and the emotions that she may be feeling or you may be feeling with her. We release that now, let it go, allow you to be free, to feel calm and relaxed and productive and wonderful, good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And I usually have people tap the bottom of their foot. So I'm just going to tap an open hand, doesn't matter which foot, just hit our foot. It just feels like it takes it out of there a little bit more. Okay, awesome, good. I see you're already getting lighter. Hooray, awesome. Yay. So this truly is, we call it, it's an energetic facelift where we, so I know you're the longevity expert. We're taking the stress away. So this is a male, female situation. This next string is a situation, recent, old situation, something with you when you were a kid. Yep. 0 through 5, 5 through 10, 5, 6. Were you 6? Were you 7? Something at age 7. Was this age 7 with Claudia by herself? No. With mom? No. With dad? Something with your dad. Is this dad in you? Yes. Or dad's energy in your field? I think it's dad in you. Do you remember anything at 7?
I think age 7, we moved from Long Island into New York City, but it was an incident around then. I just remember that my father thought it inappropriate to keep our dog that used to run around in the countryside in the city. So maybe something like that. He gave away our dog to not being in the city, which was my beloved friend, obviously as a child. I don't know if that might be it.
Oh, that's so funny because I got the word heartache.
So maybe
even before you told me that, I was like, heartache, betrayal, guilt. Wow. Okay. Or overwhelm. So what we're really doing is clearing that space in the brain where that cellular memory got stuck. It actually creates a lesion in the brain. And the doctor that did that work is Dr. Hamer, who was a German doctor that discovered trauma causes illness. And he started working with all of his cancer patients, clearing trauma, and he would find certain themes for certain kinds of illnesses. But he actually took SPECT scans of the brain and found it would create a lesion, and I call it a cellular memory bump. So moving and losing your dog, that's still in you. We're going to clear it, right? I got helpless. Is there another word? Here, 1, 2, 3. Grief, helpless, guilt, shock, grief, betrayal, heartache, overwhelm. We always have to clear the places where people had shock in order to heal. So that's important. Here. No. So got obsessive. Is there another word we need to name? A through M, M through Z, M and O, O. Overwhelm, oppressed. So was that a liar or a thief? That was a thief. Do you see how you're getting quiet?
Reflecting also on the time as well. But yeah.
What I watch in the energy field, I don't know if you guys can feel it, especially if you're seeing this on video or just even listening. What I notice is it's almost like the static electricity in your field, the energy, the kinetic energy of the pain from this, like it goes away and the person comes back into alignment and more calm and more, and you'll feel it get quiet.
Yeah.
That quiet isn't because we're not talking. You weren't talking. I was talking. Yeah. It's moving it out.
But I definitely feel a shift. It's much more like calm, less, anxious. So this is getting to the
Yeah,
root.
this is good for you. I'm so glad we're doing this. Yay. Okay. So it's stealing your hope and your honor. It stole your hope and your honor and your security. You lost your doggy when you were moving and you were only 7.
New house, new city.
And your pleasure, stole your pleasure.
I love
Oh,
being
good.
in.
We're going to get back your pleasure and your relief. Your relief. So good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And we're just going to tap the bottom of your foot. Yay. Okay. There's another string. Is this a male or a female? There's a female in your field. Is it you? No. Is it mom? No. Is it someone else? Yes. Your daughter? No. Client? Client. This is a client. Current? Old. Old. How old? More than a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks, 4. Was this about a month ago? Could have been about a month ago. Can I do it with the words? Yes. So you don't need to tell me who it is. We'll just do it with the words, but you might be able to figure out who it is by the words. I got self-righteous, constricted. Loss, L-O-S-S. Pain. Devastated. Off balance. Is there another word? No. Was that a liar, a thief? That was a thief. Did it do? Kill, steal, stealing. Hope. Harmony. Flexibility. Comfort to have. So we're reclaiming hope, reclaiming harmony, reclaiming flexibility, and reclaiming your comfort to have. And your tolerance. Is there another word? No. So we just say, I destroy and uncreate any judgments, assumptions, projections, conclusions, decisions about this client. And the last string, anything in the field there, we release it now, let it go, allow you to be free, to be calm and relaxed and productive and feel wonderful, good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. We're just going to tap your foot. Yay. Awesome. Okay. Are we complete? I feel like we are. How are you feeling?
Calm, relaxed. It's incredible how effective. And this is what, not even 10 minutes, right? Phenomenal. Calm, relaxed, balanced, happy. So beautiful.
Yeah.
Shift just in a few minutes. I could really tell as we did the different ones as well, just that change of energy. It's so incredible. It's so fascinating.
It's what I'm watching your face change. It's so cool. I'm so grateful. Yay. And I hope that maybe people listening also feel this too. So what we did is we did the releasing part. So when you think of the brain system, we didn't do really body. You know how to do all that. We did the releasing part, aligning with spirit comes throughout the process, just because we're both holding intention for God to be with you, your God, your masters, whatever. And then we want to put the new program in. The new program is using energy work in the field. And I will tell you, this looks funny when you first see it. Okay, it's codes and it's circles. I would circle around your body, and I can even do this on Zoom, with circles that are going to put in this new program of, I have consistent inner calm when I tell myself. So we're going to walk those goals down. I'm going to have you say them. And then I'm going to do these circles and these numbers. And again, if this is all brand new to you and you're seeing this for the first time, just open your mind, take it in. I do have to tell you, I learned this 20 years ago. I almost walked out of the class myself. I was like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? But I watched this woman's face change in front of me. They were releasing a car accident, all the shock from the car accident she had. And it was just so miraculous. I was like, what are they doing with these numbers? And I stayed, Claudia. And then I went to the next class and the next class.
Practice yourself and have some fun.
Yeah. So, and actually my teacher, Dorothy, she filled churches in Houston in the 1980s teaching this.
Wow.
Okay. Back then it was called Circles of Life. So I'm going to have you say these intentions, and then we're going to put this new program in. We want to reboot your energy field in your brain with how you want to show up now. So say, I have consistent inner calm.
I have consistent inner calm.
I tell myself, I remember there's a solution to every problem.
I tell myself, I remember there's a solution to every problem.
Things happen in the right order.
Things happen in the right order.
There is enough time.
There is enough time.
I am consistently more present.
I'm consistently more present.
And I'm in gratitude in the calm waters.
And I'm in gratitude in the calm waters.
Awesome. I use intuition and creativity.
I use intuition and creativity.
And I'm focused.
And I'm focused.
I'm in that flow state.
I'm in that flow state.
And I feel wonderful, calm, relaxed, and productive.
And I feel wonderful, calm, relaxed, and productive.
And then I muscle test all of those. And so that's bringing up stress. So in other words, we're not there yet. We didn't do these circles yet. We didn't integrate it. We're bringing up the intentions that you have, these powerful intentions. And then we're going to put that program in your energy field so that it manifests for you. Okay. I'm just going to do circles. I'm going down your left leg and I'm just going to say 2, 3 love, 5, 3 forgiveness, 6, 5 choice, 9, 2 freedom, 4, 2 greater love. And then we're going to come down your front. And I think I'll have you say these. 4, 2, say, I have positive self-worth.
I have 4, 2, I have positive self-worth.
And then 2, 2, I choose to succeed.
2, 2, I choose to succeed.
4, 4, I choose to live in joy.
4, I choose to live in joy.
And 6, 2, I choose to live by the higher laws.
6, 2, I choose to live by the higher laws.
Excellent. And I'm going to do some extra ones. 1, 4, 7 on your back side. That balances the brain this way from front to back. That's called the depth ring. Then I'm going to have you look at and then I'm going to do the code 4, 5, which balances the brain from side to side. It's the alignment ring. Okay. And then 9, 6 is the consciousness ring, 9, 6 cranial ring, 8, 6 hearing ring, 6, 8 seeing ring, 3 to 9, 26 complete cycles, 5,859 times, ring to all the rings, 2 to 8, 23 complete cycles, 2,623 times, 3, 7, 5, 3, 7, 7, 4, 5, 8, 6, 4, 6, 9, 4, 6, 7, releasing trauma, 10, 5, 7, 8, 2, 8, 7, 7, 5, in the shock, 1, 2, 3, placing it with peace, 5, 2, 5 to 11, 37, complete cycles, 87,357 times, 2 to 8, 24, 32 times, 4, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4, 6, 2, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. Cool,
Amazing.
huh? I don't know my phone number, but I know those.
Can you explain for people listening and for watching what exactly that miraculous
Yeah, absolutely. We're watching you change. Absolutely.
Energetic shift as well. And just this, I can't even describe it. It's just this beautiful energetic high after that from this. So can you please explain for my audience what exactly just happened?
What just happened? Yes, first I want to lock it in. So I'm going to have you put your hands above your head.
Okay.
Okay, don't let me pull them down. If I was with you, I would try to pull them down.
Okay. They're just open? How do I have them?
No, you keep them like this.
Locked. Okay.
But if I was with you, I would go like this and I would try to pull them down and you would stay strong. In other words, if I was with you in it, so it's called a lock because we want to lock in these goals. And then we're going to cone our fingers like we do for mind gems on your right hand. Okay. So just take your right fingers. Yep. And make a circle in front of your heart and say 2, 2.
Clockwise?
Clockwise. Say 2, 2.
2, 2.
I choose to succeed.
I choose to succeed.
And then tap your belly button 8 times. That's called the lock. And if we didn't lock it in, it wouldn't stick. And so I want to make sure we all lock it in. But yes, to explain what we're doing there, you actually have rings around your brain. They're like capacitor rings. You're an electrical being. You're a bioenergetic being. And so what we're doing with the codes is the codes are actually putting them back in alignment. So when they're off, you'll feel off. That's when you have the stress, the anxiety, you'll feel off. And so just think about it. If you had a wobbly circle, you would be off. Or if you hurt your neck and you're walking around like this. So we're putting that back together. And so that's what it's really doing is it's rebooting, in a sense, your biocomputer. Your brain is like a computer, but this is your bioenergetic in the field computer.
So through speaking the words and saying the numbers, that resonates, that's an energetic frequency that will make the shift. Is that what's happening?
Yes. Yeah. And it's the circles. Think of them as, they're called spin points. So 9, 6 is the cranial ring. And they really, it's learning Reiki. They really don't work. People are like, oh, I just want to learn that one code. I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. You got to have sort of the basics, the foundation. It's like you're getting a higher vibration, but you have to do it in the right order. It's like learning math. If you don't know how to add, you can't do geometry or dividing. Yeah. It's the same kind of thing. And so because we're using math as a universal language to upgrade your energetic field. Now, when people ask me where those codes came from, my teacher, Dorothy, put this together, and I just think she was brilliant. She was the most connected to God person I ever met on the planet. I think she knew the Bible as a physics book and a spiritual book, both.
Wow.
So she took the sacred gem. These came from the Bible. Math is the language that speaks to your energy. Just like you can know French and German and whatever. It's the same. It's the thing, but that's the universal language.
Really so fascinating. I'm new to this, but obviously with energetics, I do have my Reiki training in this regard as well, but physically feel. So for people in my audience as well, like just this complete energy shift and this sort of almost euphoria is maybe a little bit too much, but this is happiness, calm, and that burden and stresses that I had from before that have been lingering, especially around things with my mother as well, just totally feel like they've cleared. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're going to have to let me know if mom's better. I hope so.
Oh, exactly. I will
yes.
a bit later as well. Yeah. Louise, this is so wonderful. What I would love to have you share with the audience, if people want to work together with you, where can they find you, find what you're up to? Where's the best place to find the mind gems as well?
Yeah, on my website. So if you on my website, it's louiseswartswalter.com. And the mind gems are there. So just download the mind gems and grab those. And then if this resonates with you and you're stuck in some way, love to talk with you. So there's also a place for a brain soul success assessment right there on louiseswartswalter.com. You can also find me on Facebook. I've got a great group on spiritual entrepreneurs and on Instagram.
Excellent. And your handle on Instagram is which one?
Is at Dr. Louise. It's Dr. Louise Swartswalter.
Perfect. Okay, so people can find it. We'll link in the show notes as well. Louise, it's been such a pleasure to have you on today. Do you have any final request or recommendation or any parting thoughts for my audience today?
I always say, follow your heart, but take your brain with you.
And can you expand on that in case someone might be wondering what exactly that means?
It means when you're in your heart space and you're listening and you have that deeper connection, you'll always be guided correctly. But we also want to have common sense. So it's about listening to your heart first, because I see so many people go to their head today. And that's when you get, and I get, and I do this too. I have to calm myself down and use my own tools for myself. Is when we start going, oh, I've got to get this done. I got to get this done. I got to do that. That's a brain. That's a mind thing. But when you drop into your heart, you can calm down and allow yourself to get clear about what that is you want to do. And then it doesn't seem the anxiety will be gone.
Beautiful.
You can calm down.
And then you keep your brain with you to make sure you don't do anything.
Yeah. So we don't follow our heart and go jump off a cliff tomorrow just because we want to fly. We want to.
A sprinkle of common sense is always good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing, Louise. Thank you so much for coming on today. It's been such a pleasure. And as you can see, I'm physically a changed person from our conversation. So thank you so much.
It's been such a gift. I just love you, Claudia, and I love the work you're doing in the world. And gosh, keep up the great work. Yes. And you were glowing. So yay.
Which is good for longevity and thank you so much, Louise. Such a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Hi everyone, this is Claudia again. Before you take off, would you like to get a short email from me with some short but sweet fun tips, tricks and updates on all things longevity and lifestyle? This could be cool products that I've discovered, interesting posts or articles I've read, and other fun and helpful things around longevity and lifestyle I've found for you. It's a very short piece of inspiration for you a few times a month. So if you want to receive it, check it out by going to longevity-and-lifestyle.com. That's longevity-and-lifestyle.com and leave your email to sign up for the next one.